All right, module 3.3, surface area of a pyramid, and then we'll talk about a surface area of a cone. So here's an example of a pyramid. You have to be very, very careful with pyramids. Pyramids come to a point, so do cones. That's why we're learning them on the same day. But on pyramids, we have what's called a height and a slant height. And the same thing with the cones. So the slant height is if you were sliding down the face and it's perpendicular to the edge. The height goes from the tip to the middle of the base. So we have a net drawing. It looks like this, which is whatever the base is with the triangles coming out the sides. This is a two-dimensional drawing of a three-dimensional figure. We also have our formulas. So the formula for the surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the base. Or we can simplify that and say, all right, that means that it's 1/2 P times L. P is the perimeter of the base, L is the slant height, because that's what the lateral area is, plus the area of the base. So make sure you have these formulas written down. I would suggest you color code them to help you figure out what things are. We're going to look at practicing a couple of examples. So here, we're going to find the lateral and the surface area of two different pyramids, one at a time. So on this one, it's very, very important to note that this 9, see how it comes to the edge? That means this is the slant height. Okay? And 5 is the base. This is a square pyramid, which means the base is a square so that all sides of that base are also 5. I can't spell. So that means that I have all sides that are 5. So now I'm going to find the lateral area first. The lateral area says 1/2 the perimeter of the base times that slant height. Well, the perimeter of the base is adding up all the sides. So that's 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which happens to be 20 inches. The slant height they gave me, so now I'm ready to find my lateral area. Capital L is lateral area, little l is slant height. So 1/2 20 times 9. Well, half of 20 is 10. 10 times 9 is 90. So my lateral area is 90 inches squared. Now, I need to use that to find the rest of my surface area. So the surface area is the lateral area plus the base. Well, we already went through the hassle of finding that lateral area. Now we got to find the area of the base. The base is a square, so that's 5 times 5, which is 25. Now I'm going to plug in my lateral area, and I'm going to plug in the area of my base. So the surface area is equal to the lateral area of 90 plus the area of my base, which is 25. And notice when I'm writing these in, I don't put the units in until the end. So the surface area is 90 plus 25, which is 115 inches squared. We're going to try that again with a little bit of different information. The next one we're going to work on is going to actually have the height instead of the slant height. So we can work on finding the slant height. So moving everything downward for you. So here we go. I am given the height. I know it's the height because it comes to the middle of the base. So this is not slant height. This is the height, which is going to create me to do a little bit more work when I'm trying to find that lateral area and that surface area. So starting with the fact that we want to find the lateral area. That's 1/2 P times L. So the perimeter of the base, again, the base is a square. So the perimeter is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 40 meters. I don't have L, so I have to go find it. And this one can be just a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is kind of draw this off to the side. This is my H, my 12. And if I come across right here to that middle, that's halfway across the base, which means half of 10 is going to be, you guessed it, 5. This right here is my slant height. So we have a right triangle. We need to find the hypotenuse. So we're going to simply say 12 squared plus 5 squared equals L squared. That's 144 plus 25 is L squared. That's 169 equals L squared, which means L is 13. So some practice with Pythagorean theorem. So P equals 1/2, or excuse me, not P. L equals 1/2 the perimeter, which was 40. The lateral height, which we found to be 13. Half of 40 is 20. 20 times 13 is 260 meters squared. Now, we're ready to go find the total surface area. And remember, that was the L plus B. And we only have one base because it comes to that point. The L we found to be 260. And we got to find the area of that base. So I'm changing the colors. So the area of the base, that's going to be 10 times 10, which is 100 meters squared. So 260 plus 100 gives me a total surface area of 360 meters squared. One more to talk about is the cone. Same idea, same values. We still have slant height and height to deal with. But the difference with the cone is that the base is a circle. So we'll move this little over so it's not all jagged. We'll go a little bit more over. There's the marker. All right, here we go. So surface area of a cone, doesn't look familiar? L plus B. The difference is that the B is a base, and our L formula is a little bit different. So here's what we have. We have the slant height, which is sliding down the side, height, which is perpendicular, and we have to deal with the radius. So we're looking at finding the lateral and the surface area of this guy right here for number 3. Starting with that lateral area, we know that the lateral area is pi times r times L. Problem being, we don't know r. But r is the missing side of a right triangle. So we have to use Pythagorean theorem here to find that r. Get my colors organized. So the difference on this one is r is a side of the triangle, not the hypotenuse. So when we go to find r, we're going to say r squared equals, or not, sorry, r squared equals. We have r squared plus 24 squared equals the L squared, which is 25 squared. Because the 25 is the hypotenuse of this little triangle here. So that means that r squared plus 24 squared. 24 squared is 576 is equal to 25 squared, which is 625. So when I subtract that over, I get r squared is equal to 49. Square root both sides, and my radius is 7. And that's going to help me because now I can go back and find my lateral area. So my lateral area is pi times that r value. The r value is 7. Times the slant height, which is 25. So my r value, or excuse me, my lateral area is going to be 175 pi. And again, unless they tell me to round, I'm going to leave that pi value in there. So now our next step is to find that surface area. So remember, surface area is the lateral plus the area of the base. So we got to go find that base. The base is pi r squared. We found r to be 7. Let's move the marker down. So lateral area plus base. Base is pi r squared because it's a circle. So that's pi times 7 squared. That's 49 pi for the base. Going back to our formula for surface area, I get S equals, and I'm going to plug in my lateral. So plugging in that 175 pi plus the area of my base, which is 49 pi. And when I add those together, I get 224 pi. And it is in centimeters squared for my units. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you find your lateral and surface areas of your pyramids and cones.